hoping that the cameras are okay. They look okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Drifting.
Hello.
Traveller TTRPG space opera, on which we are on episode number 5. I don't know why I said that so ominously, like I was about to murder everyone.
Can we
hello,
talk
everyone.
about Astrid's camera?
Oh, yeah. Why is it moving? How is it moving?
It's a gift.
We've got to wait for it to hit the corner, though. We've just got to keep watching.
I'm not sure if it actually does.
Yeah,
No,
well,
it
look,
never
look,
does.
it's doing
Boop,
it.
boop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Oh, so close.
oh, this time. No.
Oh, it's getting further away now.
It was going to be a static GIF, you know, like TV static, and I was like, that'd be cool, but I can't resist the classic DVD meme, so.
Oh, sheepy.
There it is.
I can kind of see someone's face to the left-hand side of it.
Ooh, really? Wait, what?
Oh,
Whose face
yeah.
is it?
It's like a
Or whose face it
reflection.
is?
Oh, yeah, I see. I got it.
How weird. Oh, no.
It's fixed. And it never
This is it.
happened.
No.
And it never happened because now you're going to press record.
I pressed record.
Oh,
what? I started
Who are you?
I started it before we went completely face first? Sure, face first. Okay, so let's go around and say hello.
Episode title.
Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Everyone will give perfect intros, everything will go fine, and then we'll start the show. So let's start with Amelia Tyler, also known as Nomi.
Hi, I am Nomi. And when I'm not Nomi, I'm Amelia Tyler. I'm a little bit knackered and raggedy today because in between way too many recording sessions, I have been getting brambles out of a hedge.
Oh.
So that's been fun and really glamorous. And that's it. That's all my brain will allow me to process right now.
There you go. Go
This and brambles.
go watch bramble cleansing streams. Great.
Brambles. New character
But
name.
yeah, if you're around on Thursday, come hang out on Follow Black Cats. We're going to be doing our Game of Thrones show, and it's getting juicy as hell. Oh, there's some stuff has happened since we last did this show. Good lord. That's all I'll say. Good lord.
Okay. Next up we have Tess and also Corrine. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys? I'm good. Yeah, I've had some technical difficulties. And also, one of my cats, who is much older, she's 17 now. For some reason, she sleeps all day, but then at night, she decides she wants attention, like nonstop. So if we're asleep and not giving her attention, then she like yowls and goes crazy. So basically haven't been sleeping and it sucks. So yeah, we're trying to, I think we're gonna CBD it up or something. I don't know. We need to figure something out because it's a problem. But she's very sweet. She's very asleep right now, of course. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I normally stream on the weekends, on Saturdays or Sundays or both. It hasn't been both in a while, mostly because of the no sleep thing and having a whole bunch of off-stream work to try to get done, which my computers are not cooperating. So yay with that. Yeah. So that's what's going on. I do the Border Cast on the Borderlands channel on Thursdays, and then Rhyme of the Frost Maiden on Table Story on Fridays, and those are both very cool. Definitely check those out, just because they're cool, not because of me. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The cat is the cloud cat, not the stare at the screen cat, right?
No, that one is totally fine.
Okay, cool.
And thank goodness, I don't think I could handle both of them going insane at the same time.
Okay then. Finally, Colton, Peachy. There's no third thing, so I guess we're just gonna awkwardly.
Hey everyone, how are we doing today? You good? Is everyone good? Having a wonderful. Oh, inside jokes are the best because chat's like, what the fuck? Yo, I'm Peach Pixelate. I stream Thursday to usually Sunday, but currently on Sundays. I'm on Leech on Table Story. Playing an old ass fucking vampire with white hair and a grey beard.
you have you pigeonholed yourself?
I pigeonholed myself to old.
Well, you know, you're almost there anyway.
All right, you
so-
can stop that fucking sentence right now, young man. And I play Colton, who is a grumpy war veteran with guns. He likes guns. He's a gun guy. He's a gun guy.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a gun meme, but the only one I can think of is like Twitter right now, so I'm not going to bother.
No.
That's it. How are you, Sheepy?
I'm good, thank you. We've got Laconis. I've got the lore video up for Laconis, so you can go and watch that now. It features GoXLR voice acting, which I recorded about 500 times and fucked up about 501 times.
Welcome to my world.
It's really fun reading like a 1 minute long script multiple times and messing up one word every time.
Ouch.
I recorded a couple of my flubs. One of them, I literally was at the end of a 1 minute like script read, and then a police car went past really super loud, which even got through my window.
You know, editing exists, right?
Right, I was still talking. Sorry, it was literally like.
I mean, you
right at
can
the
literally
tail
slice
end.
in between breaths.
Have you heard Sheepy talk? He doesn't breathe.
That's
I don't breathe.
where does the air go in?
The butthole.
I have to make custom holes.
Explains so much. Custom holes.
Yeah, custom holes.
That's not a phrase I needed to hear.
Episode
Oh.
title.
Quill's
Custom
flashbacks.
holes.
Jesus.
So anyway, let's
We may have killed
don't
PT.
shout that in chat. I can see that. It pops up. I don't think it pops up for them, but it pops up for me.
Whoa.
So, last time on Drifting, because we missed last week. Also, worth saying, Safi Pie is not here, unfortunately, today. She is doing very important work out in the real world. But she'll be back next week, and yeah, we'll just have to do it.
She's a
out, so-
custom hole installer.
Moving on. So,
I don't even want to see the tools required for that installation.
Black and Decker power drill.
Black and Draco.
Black and Draco. That's what it's called in space. Yeah, I knew you'd have one of those. Why did I even doubt for a second? Right by the desk as well, of course.
Yeah. So,
Drifting.
I have legitimate. Thank you for that. I've lost my place completely. Oh yes. So, Safi is not here, which means that Astrid will be locked away in the engine room for purposes of story and narrative and etc. So, there you go. That's what that. Which makes sense because we had an interesting episode last time, didn't we? We had a very interesting time between Kareen and Nomi, where they talked over. I'm not sure anyone was 100% sure what they were talking about, but communication was had, and that's the important thing a lot of the time.
Yeah. We made words at each other,
You did
and that's
make words
progress.
with each other, and you kind of cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
progress.
I'm still not sure what the sorting method was. It appeared to be pick stuff up and put it together with things that were similar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You'll see.
Okay. So there was that. The Colton went to go and teach Astrid how to put together a gun Astrid knew how to put together and take apart and clean.
If she knew, why was it fucking filthy?
Right. Because you had it for like a minute.
A minute.
Answers on a postcard.
She had that shit for a long ass time.
Yeah.
We got to the end of our delivery. What was that? A 3-week delivery?
Well,
So I'm just saying.
about a week and a half, yeah.
Doesn't mean she didn't know how to put it together, but she hadn't.
Yes. Additionally, she had loud music. Colton got annoyed with the loud music, and then they kind of left now. So, after that, Kareen was up to bat to make dinner. We got the incidental tomato.
Num num num.
The food was interesting,
Oh, very.
and I'll keep it at that for the sake of
Basil
for the
heavy.
sake of being nice. A couple of people tried to eat it. A couple of people were a little too blunt. Not looking at anyone in particular.
Everyone was
Don't-
perfect.
What do you mean too blunt?
I mean,
I was factually correct.
yes, but Nomi literally said, "Why would you do that when talking about her cooking?"
It's a
Why
valid
would
question.
you do that?
Why would you do that?
Kareen has absolutely no idea.
What did
It's a valid
tomatoes do to
question.
you?
Yeah, who hurt you?
Later on, we're gonna find out that Kareen got locked in a room with a rerun of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Traumatized by her own cooking.
That might be a bit too much of a deep cut. So after that, they managed to get to the planet of Talend. They landed at the mining station they were to deliver the supplies to. Had a little bit of a snow fight on the way to knock on the door, and when they got in, they found out that it appeared to be maybe empty. A little bit of sleuthing around, and they found that a couple of audio recordings that essentially implied that well, the first audio recording was to announce a new gold vein they managed to find, and requests for additional transport and that type of thing. Also supplies for food. And then the second one was from the medic at the mining station, talking about people who had just gone to bed and then died. From what could be discerned, the entirety of the station just ended up dead. One thing that I think is important to point out, but it didn't really come up particularly, is that they were locking and depowering the rooms one by one as people died to like store them in there as kind of, you know, like frozen storage as opposed to burying them as more and more
That did
people
come
died.
up when we found all the cribs and that.
The far end of the hallway where they had all these bunks, there were like 10 or 11 that were still powered and empty.
Oh.
It didn't come up, but it would have been on the plans. So, just so you know. Finally, a really strange person turned up in the hallway, freaked the hell out of everyone, and wandered down into the mines. At that point, the captain decided to kind of, hearing what was going on, decided to kind of take command. Came into
For the first time ever.
yeah. Came into the mine, or into the station, and told Nomi to take Astrid back, Kareen to get ready to take off, and just essentially to get the supplies in and scan them. And he went down into the mine. Everyone else got everything sorted and then left. We then saw him slowly approach the miner, have a very quick discourse with him, and then shoot him in the head. And so we will be coming back in to the captain leaving the station, where I believe Nomi is waiting for him.
Mm-hmm. With a kitchen knife in her hand.
She does still have a kitchen
Yeah,
knife
she
in her
does.
hand. So there we go. Nomi. The captain walks out.
What is his status?
Okay. First off, and just for my information, is Nomi like holding the kitchen knife?
She's just got it
In, like,
down.
a ready- or
She,
is it
I think
kind
she
of-
was like mimicking Colton's
Yeah.
like military stance. She was trying to learn how to be a bit more tactical, I guess. So she's got it kind of pointed down at the ground.
Okay, so it's not kind of held out.
No, it's not like
friendly or-
tell me things.
Okay. The miner.
Yes.
And he like looks at you for a second. He's like, he's fine.
You have seen him.
Yes.
Your definition of fine seems to be rather different.
Oh no, I thought you were worried. I'd done something. I haven't done anything. So it's
Why
fine.
not?
Why not?
Hmm.
Because killing is wrong. And there's, whether essentially tying him up and leaving him, or knocking him out, or kind of all pretty much death sentences anyway.
You seem to be suffering.
Yeah.
She'll take half a step back, like she's suddenly not scared, but wary of that, what that thought process means. I should run some tests.
On.
Perhaps we could learn what has caused it.
Oh.
You seem uncomfortable.
Well, it's just, they had a doctor, a medic essentially, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. Personally, I think, we've done the job and there's nothing more we can do here. We may as well just head back, right?
Are you ordering me to leave?
I think it would be for the best.
For who?
Us?
Huh.
I mean, you didn't want him on the ship. And I don't think we should stay here, really. It's not exactly a great place.
No. She'll look torn for a second, looking at that door and looking to him. And she'll kind of chew on her bottom lip slightly and nod. As you wish.
Is that from the ship?
Hmm?
The knife?
Oh. And she'll look genuinely surprised,
Yeah.
like she'd forgotten it was there. No.
Okay. Should we move?
As you wish.
It's quite cold out here.
Yes.
And it's getting dark.
Correct. She's kind of waiting for him to go first, but her eyes keep flicking to that door.
Well, after you?
She frowns like proper confounded by that because that's two men who've done that to her now. And she doesn't get it. As you wish.
Are you bringing that with you or leaving it here?
Well, it is of no use here.
Right. Well, good.
And she'll just walk straight to the ship, not looking at him.
Yeah.
Head down.
We'll follow. And when he gets on when you get on the ship and he jumps on afterwards, he will radio up to the basically intercom over to the cockpit and say, Kareen, can you take us out?
Sure, Captain.
Thank you.
And she'll just start the pre-flight checklist and do all the things and take off.
Nomi will actually be. Are there windows on the side of this anywhere, or is it just the cockpit you can see out?
Cockpit. There are some like on the what's it called, the airlocks. And there's a couple kind of on the top floor.
I think she'd be on the top floor.
Yeah.
Just kind of leaning against the window, kind of watching that area just get smaller and smaller.
Yeah. The captain actually goes straight to his bunk, and none of you see him for a little while. Romy actually goes in to talk to Colton. He'd try and find Colton. So, are you?
We're taking off, right? I'm probably just checking, monitoring power.
Yeah. So he'd come see you, and he'd say, Colton.
Yeah.
I believe you're on dinner tonight. Would you mind if I take over?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna whip something up, so.
Can't be worse than the tomato.
And he just, he kind of tries not to nod and then just walks out.
Does he just internally nod, but just like
He's kind of
"No,
he kind of
sure."
like does that nod like instinctually and then tries to turn it into a kind of I'm just moving and then he just walks out. And then he goes up towards the kitchen. On the way he sees Nomi and stops and says, "Oh, Nomi."
She'll kind of turn her neck very sharply, as if she'd been watching something she shouldn't have. Yes.
You had some, did you have some, bark? Some, Huygens? bark?
Huygens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you mind if I take a little bit?
No.
Thank you.
Because he hasn't directly asked her where it is, she is not going to give him that information.
Yeah.
She's just given him permission.
He goes off to the kitchen and starts like warming things up. It probably takes about 20 minutes or so, and he comes back and he says, excuse me, Nomi.
Yes.
Where is the Huygens-Spark?
One moment. And she'll go to the locker, to her locker, and unlock it and rifle through a bunch of bags and boxes. And there are even a couple of tubs of seeds in there that have been kind of going to seed in the dark there. And she'll take out one small piece of bark and come back with it. There.
Thank you. Look forward to dinner. It's gonna be great.
Is that a warning?
No, I'm cooking.
She'll pause and point at the Huygens. Is that a warning?
No. This can be cooked.
Yes.
I'm gonna sprinkle it on the top a little bit.
Hmm.
It's fine, right? It's just normal Huygens.
Yes.
Okay.
But also aids with indigestion.
Yes.
I thought you were preparing something amusing.
Oh no! I was more the spicy goes well.
Perhaps both.
Right. So, and he just wait. There's a very strong tendency for Romy to just end up walking off from conversations with people. Starting to be a trend.
One of us. One of us.
So let's shift over from this very threatening "I'm holding a knife, but I'm not pointing it at you yet" song.
Yet. I brought a knife to a words fight.
So dinner. Romy calls you all, lets you know that dinner's ready to be served, and you will make your way to the table. The captain's already there, kind of sat at one of the seats, quite quiet, and not really looking at anything. Obviously Astrid has said that she's gonna skip the meal. Possibly a couple of you might be a bit concerned about that, but yeah. And then Romy brings out dinner. He has gone a little bit OTT, and I imagine a couple of you would figure the reason being that the crew didn't have the best of times on that delivery. High stress, worry, etc. So he's probably trying to make up for that. What he has done is he kind of like lays it down. You can kind of smell it. It's very the second you kind of get towards the kitchen, you smell like freshly baked bread. And once you get there, you see these big kind of like loaves of bread. And he brings them out. They're not massive loaves. They're kind of, like a bit bigger than palm size. And when he lays them down in front of you, he takes the top off, and inside is this really nice kind of soup. Essentially, he's like hollowed out the inside of the loaf and then poured the soup in. From what you can tell, it appears to be carrot, onion, turnip with some bacon bits, chive, and hoginch bark sprinkled over the top. Gives it kind of like this little spicy kick. And he says, I don't have seconds, but this should fill you up and keep you warm.
So much for cooking.
And he sits down and opens his up and starts to spoon in some soup.
I look slightly confused that the bowl we're going to eat out of is also edible. I don't think Colton's eaten food that's kind of that fancy.
Naomi is still washing her hands. She hasn't seen it yet.
And just like sits down and starts
What's
putting
the
things on a plate. Sorry.
Can I eat this? I'm like holding the lid of the bowl.
It's bread, so yeah.
Yeah. It's also a bowl.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You don't have
What's-
to wash up.
I was just gonna cook steaks.
What's also a bowl?
Food.
Oh,
I point to it.
ingenious.
Recyclable bowls.
They're not even recyclable, really. You eat them.
Don't use them as a bowl, and then you eat them.
Eating is recycling.
Yes, you be.
Thank you, Naomi. Getting schooled by one of my characters.
That's good. I like the wood.
The captain has been quiet during all of this, and at the end, once he's kind of like finished, he stands up and kind of like doesn't really look at any of you exactly, but says, we'll have a crew meeting maybe in the next couple of days. I need to lie down for a bit, and we'll discuss. I'm sure you have. He kind of wanders off. You hear the of his bunk as he like goes into his room.
Hey, do you guys think?
What's there to discuss?
I don't know. This food is pretty good.
Thank you.
You can eat the bowl.
Yeah. Thank you again, seriously.
Why is the wood in it? The wood's good, but
Oh, it's bark. It's consumable. You can eat it.
I already did.
Yeah. It's just
I didn't know you
quite
could eat wood.
spicy. Helps with digestion. Apparently.
Yes. Medicinal, but also delicious. Things can be other things, apparently. And she'll look at the bowl, just deeply amused by the entire concept of an edible bowl.
I'm already eating the bowl. Probably there's still soup in there. Because you can eat the bowl. I'm eating the bowl. Good.
Well, hopefully the trip back will be calm and everything will be fine.
We're gonna get paid for that, right?
Yeah, we delivered the goods and it was registered, so... Oh, Kareen, can you shoot a delivery order, delivery completed message out to the
Oh yeah,
station?
I already did.
You did? Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Who was it registered to?
Oh, the delivery? It was the Voltorm, expanded.
Voltorm.
You'd just for you and what Nomi would know, Voltorm Expanded is one of the larger corporations in the inner system. Basically, along with Delac Industries and Foxfire. Oh wait, Delac. I think it's Delac Incorporated and Foxfire Industries, as I remember. But I can double check. And they're, as I remember, they're also the ones who the derelict ship. They were the ones who kind of like bankrolled that the ship construction and the pilots and everything.
You can eat the bowl.
Yes.
Amazing.
Never eaten a bowl before.
Good. Most are not edible.
Oh.
So, before we break for carrying on work and maybe sleep actually, is everyone content with everything that went down on the station?
Gold wasn't real.
Gold wasn't real.
Wasn't
Oh.
real.
They call it fool's gold. Pyrite.
Huh.
Not sure how miners confuse that, but hey,
Hmm.
I did.
Nomi will kind of look out. Like, I'd imagine there aren't any windows in this particular area, but she's looking off kind of in the direction of where they've come.
Mm.
And she definitely looks uncomfortable. But she won't say anything about it right now.
Is it like noticeable, or just kind of?
A bit, yeah.
You gonna eat your bowl?
No. Feel free.
Okay.
Yeah, I think now you say that, it's doubly noticeable because she'd usually be just pigging out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, for now, if anyone has any concerns, come find me, let me know, give the captain a couple of days, and we'll be back on track.
A couple of days to do what?
Fully okay, is he?
He's fine. Every now and then he just needs some time to himself. Could I take a guess that Coulter's like, I can understand that.
Absolutely. Sometimes you need everyone just to fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, they both had that kind of chat about the military and stuff like that. Like, I don't know whether Colton himself has had kind of like, you know, those bad nights and bad days, but he's probably known quite a lot of people who have, so.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, left-hand thrusters are using about 3% more power than usual. We should probably look at that when we get back.
Alright, I'll put it on the list.
It's probably wiring.
I think we may need to, once we land at the station, maybe you can go over the wiring, make sure it's all, you know, replace what needs replacing, and we should get enough from the job for that.
I don't think I can replace everything that needs replacing.
Well, no, but the wiring at least, so we don't have similar problems as we had before.
There was that sensor issue also. I don't know if it's, I mean, whatever's more important. They are still working. They're just not as clear.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how much we earn. Hopefully, we'll get a finder's fee for the derelict and then the delivery as well. It should stand us in good stead. Hopefully, we can maybe replace the sensors, get some better wiring in, and I'm sure there are other problems we need to fix.
Probably.
Right. Well,
I finish off Nomi's bowl. Good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Mm.
And good job. First job, successful. A little bit hairy, but we made it through fine. Oh, Nomi, just so I know, in the future, would you prefer not to be involved in the more risky excursions? Being the botanist of the ship doesn't really extend itself towards danger and...
She was fine.
Yeah?
I can't believe I just spoke for her. That's horrific.
Regardless, she smiles ever so slightly for a second. I have no issue with risking as much as the rest of the crew, if that's what you mean.
Okay.
Why?
Just, I don't want to put any of the crew in danger who needn't be in danger.
Well, perhaps it is more sensible then to make sure that I'm not in danger, rather than me staying on the ship. I could learn how to be useful.
I mean, if you'd like to learn how to shoot, I'm sure myself or Colton, maybe even the captain, could give you a few pointers.
I have a spare gun here. You want?
Perhaps.
I joined our dinner. This thing is so interesting.
I can't remember
Has
which
it-
one it is.
Obeyed any commands yet?
No, it just sort of pops in whenever it feels like it, I guess. It hasn't interfered with anything. Which I understand these kinds of things sometimes do.
AI. AI. And she'll get right up in its face.
Meow.
Turn down the lights in the dining area.
And there's actually a voice from the kind of corner of the kitchen area that says, affirmative. And the lights kind of dim a little bit.
Ow. Oh my god, that actually worked. I think it... Wait, tell it to do something else.
AI. Your designation is Rover. Confirm?
Confirm.
Oh my god. It listens to you. That's amazing.
It's
How come it listens to you but not to the rest? Well, I'm the only one that's tried. Colton, tell it to do something.
Sit.
Well, it's kind of already...
use its name.
Sit, Rover.
I'm gonna call that a
Broken.
win.
Perhaps your voice is not ideally suited.
Take a shout.
That rarely works with anybody.
Be surprised.
Cool that it listens to you.
Is it?
Oh, sorry. Just as a sidebar, you have AI. You have the console, which is like a little room by itself, where you can essentially do communications through and like interact with the AI. Currently, all of you have had probably one moment at least in the cockpit, or in the kind of main cargo hold area, which is where the two like interactive AI things you can essentially speak to the AI. Speak back. You are essentially known by either unknown passenger or your role. So you'll be engineer, you'll be electrician, mechanic, quartermaster, pilot, etc. Is anyone here particularly good with electronics?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, of course. I would say most likely, Colton, you'd know, although probably haven't bothered telling anyone or haven't bothered doing it either. You can actually, like, go to the console and program in your name with your job, and then the AI will refer to you as, like, Colton or you know, Colton McColton face, if that's what you input.
I will store that and think about that later.
Yeah. I'm really not going to be happy when you end up putting something in ridiculous for Astrid and it annoys the hell out of her. Because I'm going to get it in the neck. Yeah.
Those bowls were good.
Thank you.
Expensive.
Well, I'm going to go about my business for now. Kareen. About 3 weeks back as well. Okay. Shouldn't be too bad. And, yeah, as I said, once we land, we'll start fixing the ship up. We'll have some funds for that. See about expanding the farm a little bit, maybe. We might go looking for a different kind of job. Take us somewhere we can buy some more seeds and the things we couldn't get on your shopping list.
Farm is pretty.
Thank you.
It's coming along nicely.
Whatever job we gotta do, right?
Exactly. Alright, well, thank you all for being professionals and, you know, good job. Once we get back, we'll see to it you get paid and we'll carry on. And he kind of gets up and wanders off down the hallway. You do actually hear like a clank and a bang because the lights are quite low. He like smacks his foot on something.
Bang the wall. Make the lights come back on.
Are you the Fonz in space now?
Percussive maintenance exists. Always has and always will do. I'm gonna go clean my guns. I mean gun.
Okay. That means it's just Kareen and Nomi.
I think Nomi will stand there for a little while, just kind of looking almost like she's tuned out, and then blink and realize that Kareen's still there and busy herself, like tidying up anything that had been moved.
I think Kareen also, she kind of would like look up at Nomi and especially once Nomi starts clearing, she'll start helping because even though she doesn't like doing stuff, she feels like
I've
fact that
Pavlov's
someone
dogs
else-
you by this point, right?
Yeah.
well,
Is it the
that, and
guilt
also-
help?
Yeah, like she didn't have to cook this time. They forgave her for the tomato incident. So she's like, I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna help out, damn it. So yeah, she doesn't really say anything. She just like puts stuff away and then I'm
I
gonna
think
go,
Sorry.
I'm gonna go set up our flight path. Just make sure nothing's weird with it. And then she like skedaddles out once everything's cleared.
I think Nomi will stay there for a little bit and then slowly make her way back to the farm.
In that case, unless anyone has a conversation they want to have with anyone or anything they want to do, a few days go by of, well, just traveling through. On the way back to the inner system, I believe you were above Iolo, on a station that was owned by the Voltorm Expanded Corporation. So it's gonna be a good week and a half, 2 weeks before you get back. But a a few days in, there is actually, while you are piloting, while you're in the bridge, the cockpit, careen, there is a beep and a pilot message waiting for you at console.
Listen to the message.
So you can bring it through to your basically piloting console. It's the way communications work in this world, in this setting, is long distance is done via like a basically aiming and firing, and then you pick it up as it's kind of like you have to know where you're sending it, if you know what I mean. So you kind of like send it to a specific console in the right direction. When you're within a reasonably close range, you can talk real time, but most messages are sent recorded video, or video or audio. It depends. So you can bring it in from the console onto your piloting screen, your console there, or you can go in and like, depends how private you want it.
Well, there's nobody else in the cockpit right now, right?
Not at the moment, no.
So I think it's kind of my space and there's nobody there, so.
Yeah, and who knows what the message is.
Yeah.
Although there are, just worth noting, there aren't many people who know where you are to send you the message. So
Yeah, I mean, we just came back from dinner, right? So everybody's like off to their respective places.
a couple of days later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still, she's too lazy to go back to her room.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So when the video kind of hops up, it's quite dark, but you recognize the person. It's Kimber, and from what you can tell, it appears to be like nighttime around him, so he's got kind of like the glow of the screen, appears to be outside. You think possibly he's in the countryside of Delore, but you're not 100% sure. And he's got kind of like a mix of earnest and worried face basically going on. And then the message starts.
Green. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Don't worry. I do understand, and I don't expect a reply either, considering. I wasn't actually going to contact you, but events transpired, and, well, I thought it might be a while before you got the news yourself, and I knew someone who might know how to contact you, so, well, I'm going to send this to them, and hopefully it'll find its way to you. Maybe. I really never was good at this type of thing, and now I'm just procrastinating. Oh, hell. There's no good way to preface this, so... Your Aunt Percy died. I'm sorry, but I thought you'd want to know. Her flyer malfunctioned on the way to a meeting a few weeks ago. She died instantly. I really am sorry. I know you were close. And everyone else in the family is fine. She was by herself, so don't worry about that. Look, everyone kept saying that since you got back, you've been different. Not how you were. I don't know, more reclusive. And I didn't know you then, but I know you're curious, should we say. And I would have sent this message sooner, but I wanted to be thorough for you, and, well, because of the kindness and understanding you showed me. So, I hired some investigators to make sure. And, well, as far as could be discovered, it seems to have just been an unfortunate accident. Honestly, I know she did some government work, and, well, I couldn't help but worry I was going to discover some grand conspiracy and have to go on the road. Sorry, that was insensitive. Sorry. I'll stop rambling. I just wanted to let you know, and to let you know that, well, I understand. I really do. Hopefully you're well, and you're looking after yourself. Okay. I hope you find what you couldn't care. Goodbye.
I think Kareen would like transfer the message to her private files and delete it off of the ship's whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck? She'd like set up the ship so that it could basically pilot itself.
The ship is able to run by itself for now, yeah.
Yeah. And then go to the kitchen, and if there's nobody there, just walk up to the coffee maker and make a very large thing of coffee.
Okay.
And she'd just kind of do it slowly.
As you leave the bridge, you go through the kind of lounge, relax staff room. I don't know exactly what to call it. Romy's sitting there. And he like looks up as you walk through. His brow furrows a little bit, and he says, "Crane,
What's up?
everything all right?"
Fine. Ship set. We're flying straight. We should be there in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay, good.
I just need coffee. I really need coffee.
And then you kind of hurry through, go through the cargo hold, up the stairs and into the kitchen area.
Yeah. So I mean, she would make coffee, finish it, and then make more coffee. Just kind of standing there, like going through the motions of making coffee. And then probably halfway through her second one, she'd start to feel a little bit more kind of hyped or like jittery almost. And she'd like look at the coffee and take one more big sip and then throw out the rest and go. Actually, she would pick up the coffee grinds and like whatever's like left over from the coffee, and like pack them up and take them up to the garden.
Okay. In that case, Nomi, I'm assuming you're working in your garden.
She's sitting on the floor. In front of her is this big pile of sort of clear plastic drink bottles and that sort of thing. And she's got a pair of shears in her hand and sort of one pile of plastic bottles that she's done something with on one side, but she's just kind of sitting there cross-legged on the floor with the scissors in one hand and one plastic bottle in the other, and she seems to just be frozen.
So Kareen would like walk in, and just kind of walk up to her and be like, "Hey, I brought you some coffee grinds. You said you could use them?"
Yes. Fertilizer.
Right.
Thank you.
Where should I put this?
She'll point to a pot that's just full of coffee grinds that she's been slowly bringing back from the kitchen.
Green would like very purposely walk over there and just like dump out the grinds. And then like very purposely walk out, but she'd kind of hesitate by where Nomi is sitting and stop. And then, do you mind if I sit for a little bit?
No.
Thanks. And then I'd just sit down like cross-legged kind of in front of her.
Yeah, Nomi's like full on Buddha pose
Yeah.
at the moment, like
yeah.
super straight back.
Kareen would like look at her and just try to copy it, except I mean she's like kind of bendy, but she's not that bendy, so it would take her a minute to like get in the position. So do you need help with anything in here?
Needs.
Want, I guess. I kind of need to do something. Anything.
Understandable.
This place is really chill, and I have had a lot of coffee today.
Have you drunk any water?
I mean, there's water in the
That
coffee.
doesn't count.
Why is that? I've read that before, but I never really understood why that's the case.
Caffeine is a diuretic,
Right, but there's water in with the coffee, so
which you then get rid of.
so I always have to go to the bathroom a lot. Anyway,
I can't
yeah, I should
answer
probably
that
drink some more
question.
water.
She'll
Yeah.
stand up and go and get another pair of scissors and set it down in front of Kareen and show her what she's doing. She's basically snipping the bottom off each of these drinks containers and putting 3 little holes equal distance around the top of it, and then putting it to one side just over and over.
Okay, I can do that. I think I can do that. And then she does one, like by the time Nomi's done like 5 of them, Rain has done one because she's doing it really carefully and trying to focus her entire brain on it, but she's obviously very distracted, so she's just like really slowly trying to get it right. And then she finishes it and she shows it to Nomi. She's like that? Is this
Yes.
right? Okay. And then she puts it aside and picks up another one, and she's like starting to do it, but just kind of holding it in her hand and zoning out a little bit, because she's thinking.
Nomi will just let her do that. She knows enough about people to know that when they've zoned out and they've got a sharp implement in their hands, they should probably just sit still. And she's obviously come in here for a reason, so she'll just very quietly and calmly carry on doing what she's doing.
Time passes. The repetitive nature of what you're doing is useful, but correct me if I'm wrong, I imagine it doesn't really quiet the din in the mind.
No, especially not with all the coffee she had. So she just eventually she finishes that one bottle and puts it aside. She's just going very, very slowly. And then she'll like stop mid-cut at some point and be like, Do you have family that you're in touch with still, Nomi?
No. Why?
I just got this message. My aunt died. She was an aunt that I actually liked. And I don't know. It seems weird a little bit. I don't want to get back in touch because that would just be a lot. But I also like with the rest of my family, you know. But she was nice. And it just seems really weird. It like doesn't make sense. There was a malfunction with her flyer and it doesn't make sense to me. She's always so careful and she has people that she, you know, that would check these things for her. For one of her flyers to have a malfunction, that's just ridiculous. I don't know. I kind of want to look into it, but I also don't want to get back in touch.
Why?
Because family's hard. You know, I'm not out here in the middle of nowhere without them for no reason, right? Yeah, family's just hard. But this aunt, like I can't believe she's gone.
You said this aunt you liked.
Yeah, she was always nice to me. She never tried to push me into anything, really. She just let me be myself, which is really, really unlike the rest of my family.
They wanted you to change.
Yeah, you could say that.
As just a little extra for you, Corrine, she was also the one who helped you and got you this interview and job. So
Yeah, she actually helped me get out here. Just, it doesn't make sense that she'd be gone. It doesn't make sense that her flyer would have malfunctioned, especially enough to cause her death. Because, well, so she worked in the government, and like she had people to check this stuff for her, people she trusted.
Sometimes malfunctions happen.
I know, but this just doesn't make sense to me. You know, I could imagine someone missing a malfunction, like one of her guards missing something, like
God.
you know, well, she was in the government. So they would have checked over the flyer, like they wouldn't have just gotten on and not noticed something that could make it fail enough for her to die. They would, I mean, maybe they would have missed the fuel gauge being a little off or something, but not something like that. It just seems weird.
Maybe not. Who had something to gain by her death?
I don't know. I mean, government, so maybe someone else in the government. I really didn't pay that.
You were never really clear on what she did. She didn't talk about
Yeah.
work. The best you know is she got your cousin, her daughter, the job at the Navy. So maybe something military, but that would be a guess on your part.
Yeah, I don't really know. I just know she was in the government and she had guards and she had some contact with the Navy because she got my cousin a job, but I don't really know what exactly her role was. Honestly, I haven't been paying attention for the last 7 years or so.
What was her name?
Per se. per se Delac.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't spread that name around.
Quick.
She'll just shake her head very softly and stand up and go to a big storage box and pull out a pen and a piece of paper. Write it out.
Oh, you don't know it. Okay. Big relieved sigh that you don't know it. She'd write it down and just be like, I don't really want it to be common knowledge. the
She'll
name.
take the piece of paper and fold it and keep doing that until it's very, very small till you can't fold it over again, and hand it back to her and lead her over to one of these containers and just dig down into the dirt. And now you bury it.
Why?
Because saying goodbye is important.
Oh. Yeah. I'm not really good at that.
I'll leave you to it if
Thanks.
you'd like.
Yeah, maybe I'll just be here for a bit. Thanks, Nomi.
You're welcome. And she'll walk almost out of the room and then grab one of the drink bottles which she'd rinsed out previously and had some water in and place it next to her.
Yeah.
And then leave.
I think Green would just like stand there staring at it for a really long time and then eventually do the thing, like, you know, kind of pat the earth over it and take a drink of water and just kind of stand there. But she just looks like I'd look concerned almost, and kind of like something isn't right with this whole situation, and she can't quite shake that, and so that would just kind of be in her head. But she's gonna try to just put it out of her mind, gonna try really hard, and eventually go back to the piloting, like the bridge and her station, and she'd take the water.
Okay. When, you know, as you're doing this, and do you bury the...
Yeah. She'd do it, like, she'd really try to kind of say good, like, try to put it to rest, kind of. Because she doesn't want to try to get involved. She's out here to get away.
Korean's never been great at letting things go.
No. So she would try. She sort of respects Nomi and this idea of hers. So she's really gonna try, but she's gonna fail.
And also, well, just for like a little extra thought that Kareem probably had is the last time she didn't let something go, she can't really remember.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd really try. She'd like try to shove it out of her brain, but it would just be there.
It's not like
So
she's gonna act on it or anything, but it's
Yeah.
not being let go as much as she might like to.
Yeah, she's gonna like try to fake it till you make it, kind of, but it's not gonna work.
I imagine then that we'd leave Kareen sitting at the pilot console, just kind of staring out into space with the water bottle.
Yeah, she'd do that at some point. She would have gotten up and gone back and made coffee again, and then brought the coffee back. And so she'd kind of just be sitting there, like scrunched up with her knees up, and her arms around her knees, and the bottle of water and the big mug of coffee would just be like sitting in front of her, next to her.
In actuality, maybe like 10 minutes after after Karina's kind of, been sitting down and everything, the door behind slides open, and Romy walks in with a cup of coffee.
Oh, perfect.
And he
And
says,
literally she'd say that. She'd be like, "Oh, perfect."
I figured you might be. I saw you come in with only water, so I thought.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And he kind of nods silently and walks towards the door, and pauses at just as he's about to go through for a second, and says, "If you need to talk or anything, it's kind of if you want, if you need to talk, that is."
Thanks. I don't know. I think I just want to sit here for a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's but yeah, I'm around if. Sorry.
Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah, no problem. And then he leaves.
Romy, why's all the coffee gone again?
Oh, I made some for Green, and we're running low.
Okay.
So that's why.
I'll order more coffee next time.
So. A little bit of time passes as you keep heading towards Inner, and specifically towards the Voltorm station above Iolo. Just as a sidebar, Nomi, you recognize the name of the aunt, so...
Yeah.
I was pretty sure you would, but I also just wanted to make sure. So, as time passes, are there any conversations that need to be had? Any things that need to be done? Honestly, things are running pretty smoothly. For this ship, at least. The sensors are still a bit whacked. There are occasional power outages and stuff, but you managed to stay on top of it. A lot of the time for you, Colton, it's just that you feel like you're standing in front of a dam that very, very occasionally springs a leak, and you have to run and put your finger in it, and then you're waiting for the next time you have to run off somewhere else. And
Okay, that's completely fixed. Shouldn't have a problem.
probably shocked yourself a couple of times. Not gonna lie.
Probably that's why his hair's standing up on end constantly.
I think if it had been a couple of different incidents and it had been a few days, if she'd seen burn marks on him at all, she would have just Nomi would have tutted and come back with some dreadful paste of something and been just
What's that?
smearing on.
Oh, that smells disgusting.
Really does.
I don't need that. I'm fine. Oh.
Do you
oh,
enjoy healing
oh.
slowly?
What? Yes.
All right. And she wipes it off and walks away.
Oh, God. It smells like Astrid's bunk.
New from Chanel.
Astrid's bunk. Nomi. Did you want to know how to hold a gun? You said before.
You seemed nervous. Me having one.
Yeah, 'cause you don't really look like someone who's been taught how to hold a gun. Although you held a gun. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna lead her down to the storage room.
Yep.
I'm gonna run down a load of lockers. And I open one and quickly close it. That's not the right locker. Nope.
There are Romy's pistol or revolver and the captain's pistol are kind of like hung up on belts on like hooks.
This. Okay. 9mm. Small, easy, not complex.
Is that the captain's?
No.
Okay, cool.
No, I've just gone into. You see me going through lockers. I don't know how much you're paying attention, but I'm like opening a locker and there's like 1,000 guns in there, and I close it quickly because that's not for you.
Just
Not 1,000. I'm exaggerating.
Mm-hmm.
just worth mentioning. I think I mentioned it before, but worth mentioning again. The captain, and this is something that Colton would be interested in because it's kind of cool. The captain's pistol is like a Gauss pistol, essentially. You know, fires, I think, supercharged slugs of metal. It's also thumbprint activated, so only the captain can like start it up. It's even more effective than the safety trigger. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I eventually find this thing, and it's super easy. It's a 1911. There we go. Because those would definitely still exist in the future, 100%.
Well, it's not in the future.
Okay, grip safety. I point to the back of the gun. Safety's not on unless you're holding. Safety's not off until you're holding the gun properly. And I like put it into her hand and like fit it into the thing. The what's that be called? I must have a name.
The bow.
The bowels. No, I don't like
the
that.
Bow, like the bow of a tree.
The bow of her hand.
It's not what it's called, but
That's where I put it.
yeah.
Okay. No. And then I just move her finger up, just even though it's probably nowhere near the trigger. I just make sure it's very not anywhere near the trigger. Okay. How you hold a gun, always. This is always how you hold the gun. Unless you're shooting someone, actively shooting someone.
You
Okay.
see her like looking down for a sec, and each one of her fingers just kind of just moves slightly as if she's memorizing the exact position that she's in. It's almost, you saw her, I think, probably doing it a little bit when she was trying to mimic you, that kind of dancer's way of memorizing things.
I like sort of straighten your back so like you're planted on the floor and stuff, and like lift your arm up a bit. Okay. Before I would have given you a gun, I would have checked it, make sure it was clear and everything. Like very fastidiously, a couple of times maybe.
Topical.
Okay. Back slide. Look down. Empty. Yeah.
Empty.
Clear. And then I get a magazine with bullets in. And actually I show her on my gun because it'll be pretty similar.
Actually, actually, they're called rounds.
Okay, I don't. Okay. All right. No, she's right. She's right. And I show her how to load the gun, rack a chamber, rack a round in. Okay, not clear.
Not clear.
And then I show her how to drop out the mag. I call it a mag again. There we go. And to clear how to clear the round again. Yeah, I mean, Yeah. Okay, now you go. Do it yourself.
Yeah. And she'll want to run that several times. That kind of muscle memory. Just occasionally, especially getting her thumb slightly onto the safety, or the different ways that you have to stretch in order to release that mag. Her hands are smaller than yours, so she's having to learn to stretch in a slightly different way.
Move past it. Move past it.
You saw it, fucking hell.
I like ever since Colton offered to show you how to handle a gun. I've been trying to not put on the porn theme from last.
Oh, I was doing so well, but that last bit got me.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, she finally kind of figures it out and gets it to a point, and I think she reps it many more times than you would have expected. This is clearly important to her to get it right.
Okay, you gotta keep that clean too.
Clean.
Hmm.
How?
And then Colton just opens up this entire fucking toolbox of cleaning kits, like slams his gun down, like just completely dismantles his gun in seconds without paying much attention to it, and then shows it all splayed out. Okay, your turn.
Her eyes go wide, like there were too many steps to that and it was too fast, but she doesn't know how to verbalize that.
Yeah.
Colton is 100% testing you right now.
Can you show me again, but slower?
I do it at a normal speed, but I don't slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
But compared to how I just did it, it's like more like you can see what's happening.
Yeah, and as he's doing it, even though she hasn't got a gun in her hands, she's kind of physicalizing it so she can try and use that muscle memory again.
Okay. You good? Now you.
We'll see.
And go and call me a stopwatch.
Let's
Oh no!
let's get a roll, shall we?
Are you actually going to make me roll for this?
Oh hell yeah!
Intriguing.
This isn't something.
You sure?
So this will be. It's not gun combat, is it? So it would probably. Let's go with mechanic. I think that makes the most sense.
Oh shit. Not dexterity? Are you sure it's not dexterity?
It would be dexterous, wouldn't it?
It would be dexterous. You can roll mechanic with dexterity.
Because you can learn how to do stuff, but if you're
How do I
naturally
do
quite
that?
dexterous,
Teach me.
So the drop down next to mechanic, you can select
Oh, yeah.
dexterity.
Okay, phew. Yeah, that's a little better.
Yes. Just switch it back to education once you've done the roll. And,
Switch it back to what, sorry?
education.
Thank you.
Ooh. That was rolling with a boon as well.
Oh, poo.
Without the boon, that would have been a 3. No, sorry, a 4 because you get a +1 for your dex.
so I stop the stopwatch and I look at the. You looks like you put the gun together, and then I realize that the
It's like half the size it should be.
Just like missed the spring. Nothing works.
yeah, the spring's not in there, and I'm like, this is recoil spring. Gun won't work without the recoil spring.
Keep going.
Okay, dismantle. Stopwatch. Go.
Just keep rolling until I get a decent one. Okay, he's fucked off. We might as well. Let's see what happens. Oh, I have to get rid of the boon and bane though, right?
Yeah.
Boon, bane, back to normal. Okay, this is hilarious. Okay, 7, getting a little bit better.
Well, that's much better than the last time. You rolled a 3 last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look at the stopwatch. It's like, okay, that's a bit. long, but not military. Okay. You know how to do it. You don't have to do it fast, he says, holding the stopwatch. Okay. And then he starts showing you when it's dismantled, like the important things that you need to clean and where shit would build up. And like point out stuff that would be a problem if it builds up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just looking at you to see if you're like taking it in.
Yeah, but she'll be definitely paying attention and very eager.
Like a sponge.
Yeah,
Colton would
like
fucking love
fascinated by this new area and the cleaning side of things. She is immaculate.
Okay, you're taking the blue off. Okay. That's clean.
Oh, nearly just said something. It's fine.
Okay, I think you're ready to be a gun owner. I call that one Katie, but you can call it whatever you want.
Why, Katie?
It was this barrister. It's not important. I once called Katie. It fires really fast. That sounded
Katie.
so bad. God, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like caffeine.
Episode is filled.
But that's just my name. You can call it. You don't have to call it. Not many
Names
people.
are important. Katie. She'll like turn it sideways a couple of times, like, trying to memorize what this one is, because the numbers you said at her made no sense to her. This is Katie now.
That makes way more sense because he'd be just saying these things because they're just like random facts that, like, that's just what it is. Obviously, it's more the use, and now that you can take it apart and put it together, and you know how to clean it, I think he's a bit more comfortable. Because you've had some training.
You hold it, and she'd go back to the way that he'd been holding it the previous day, like mimicking the body movement.
Yeah.
Like this.
2 hands, yeah. Squeeze. Don't yank.
Colton, aside from Tess being the only one I can trust today, thank you, Tess. I don't like the pop-ups. I don't like them at all.
I knew as soon as I said it. I knew it.
Yeah. The one thing of interest is there is no knowledge really in Nomi's kind of, mechanical side of the guns and stuff. The aptitude is there. She picks up the movements and the stances and everything like that very, very quickly. It's the more technical side that appears to be a little bit lacking.
I suppose I'd pick up on that when she latched on as the name's called Katie.
Yeah.
But as far as Colton's concerned, it's like he's not training her to be a gun person. He's just training her to be safe with the gun so he doesn't feel nervous.
Yeah.
And obviously she'd be safe, but, if it comes to that situation, he's not relying on her to be an expert shooter. He just wants to make sure that she's safe and knows what the buttons do, I guess.
And while you're, as you're kind of taking her through it, the door goes as the captain kind of wanders in, pauses at the doorway, seeing you there, and says, "Oh, sorry, it's not important. I'll just, And he turns and goes.
We're okay.
It's fine.
Not
I'll
interested
come
in the
back
guns
later.
at all? Okay. Is he okay? Are you okay? Very weird at lunch the other day.
For context as well, by the way, when he came in, you were essentially like arms around her, showing her how to hold her.
And there was a hand in the small of her back at most.
Yeah.
Just so she could stand up straight.
Yeah, it was
Enough to make him awkward.
Yeah.
But there's no way that registers on Colton at all because he was
No.
showing her how to kill people.
Yeah, no, it was... For the people in the room, contextually, completely different.
I'm not sure.
That guy, probably shell-shocked. When people die, lots of people die. Changes you. Sure, he'd be fine.
He seemed used to people suffering.
Who's the Star Marine?
Do the morals extend to civilians?
Morals?
That man we saw. He was alive, but he wasn't. It seems cruel.
Yeah. I see people like that sometimes. Sometimes you see so many things, but it's easier to stay inside your head.
She'll look at him like there's a definite compassion there, and she knows better than to ask. But just this nod, and then she frowns slightly. What did you do with the gun?
What gun?
The illegal gun. You
Oh,
said you'd found
it's in
it
one of those
and
lockers.
destroyed it.
Oh,
You said it's not a normal gun. Present tense. You can only deduce that you did not destroy it.
it's a dangerous gun. But some people. And I walk to one of the lockers and I open up a locker and there's probably a poly in there. It's not the one. It's definitely not the one because Astrid has that. But
Yeah.
I would assume I'd have. I'm a bit of a gun
He's a
king.
collector.
Collector, yes, a collector, not a nut, a collector.
I would say probably more recently in the last year, 2 years, you probably picked one of them up, most likely.
Yeah. Some. They're just really dangerous and I kind of look around to make sure the captain isn't here. Illegal.
Why?
They don't show up on most detectors.
Useful.
It's kind of a last chance gun. Maybe don't tell the captain.
As you wish.
Thanks.
Does it have a name?
No. Listen,
Makes sense.
be named.
No names.
This one.
Or something secret.
And I pull out like my sidearm. This one. It's called Doom. And I look like I look like I'm playing with you.
Yeah.
But I don't look like I'm lying or anything. I just look like I'm playing a little bit.
You can see her like cheek muscles engage, and she's trying desperately not to laugh at you. That's a terrifying name.
Terrifying gun. And I start like rattling off specs of the gun. Like I'm really into this one in particular, more so than I was talking about the gun that I gave to you.
This is my very favorite gun.
Do you believe that the gun itself is more dangerous?
Oh, no.
Could Katie not be more dangerous than Doom?
Every gun is dangerous, depending on who's holding it. Gun itself, I guess not really.
I should practice more.
Not from this one. And I start rustling around in a bag and like, this will just go off. It's deactivated, but if you knock that, drop that, there's no safety.
That's a dreadful design flaw.
Oh, you should see this. I'm so excited. Someone seems to be interested. She's not, but as far as Colton's concerned, I can just keep getting out guns, and every time, like, well, this one.
She is kind of interested, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's full on, like, if you're pointing out design flaws, particularly.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Stuff that just doesn't make sense.
You know how collectors love to collect, like, bad stuff, beta, and alpha
they
design
never do this again because
prototypes.
it's bums on backwards or something.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably got loads of crap that doesn't even fire because it's just so bad. But they're very interesting to a collector.
The only person you've had any kind of gun talk with before this is, well, aside from Astrid, is the captain a little bit, but he's been kind of like you've seen you've seen him kind of ghosting about a bit, but he's been very reclusive. And Romy, the problem is the only thing Romy cares about is his revolver. Past that, he doesn't give crap about guns. So
yeah, I'm probably losing myself a bit and like enjoying actually interacting with someone about something that I obviously really enjoy.
Halfway through, I think you showing her a bunch of stuff, you'll realize that she's dismantling and reassembling the gun while you're doing it, like trying to use the time for practice, almost like a meditative thing. Just not the entire thing, but like parts of it, and practicing it over and over until she can do it smoothly.
Okay.
But still nodding along and commenting on what you're doing.
Every time you're sort of adjusting something like that gun, it goes, actually, you should see the trigger on the 4127. I've got one somewhere. I've only got the A. The 4172B is more, but this one. Okay, so have you?
as time goes on as well, like more and more kind of like.
I love guns.
Just to the side, bit the guns and like. And
they get more and more ridiculous.
Captain's gonna come back in and be like super awkward. They were just on the floor in a pile of guns. I don't know what I just walked into.
Yeah. So, give me one more mechanic with your decks.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see how things progress.
We did one while you were away.
Can I help her with like a leadership or a teach? Is there a teaching thing?
If you roll your mechanic as is.
Okey-dokey.
See if there's anything more.
The only thing I've got that would be close would be leadership. Mechanic makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, let me check Boone and Bane as well.
Yeah. Because you're teaching, education is perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Perfectly acceptable on this one.
Ooh.
Holy crap! Yeah. Take a boon.
Okay, so I just click it on Boone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it'll roll 3 dice and drop the lowest for you.
Gotcha.
Which it does automatically for some reason. I'm not sure.
11.
Holy crap! Yeah. No. Rolling with Boone.
Boo.
Yeah. The really interesting thing, Colton. Nomi, question for you.
Yes.
You learn quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to muscle memory and dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing your best? Or would you like to essentially to the best of your ability, ease off essentially the impressive role you get.
I think I would be easing off, but only a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Because I do want to impress him, but I've been burnt like this before where people find that speed of intellect intimidating, and it kind of upsets people. And while he doesn't seem like that sort of person, they've been getting on really well, and she doesn't want to fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely been times when she hasn't been everyone's cup of tea.
Mm. So yeah, she'll be doing like a normal person's amazing. Yeah. But not.
So I'm still
like,
impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for a let's call it a layman. She picks up quickly, and she learns quickly. So as she goes through the motions, she gets better and better a lot quicker than you'd expect. By the end of your, I'm going to guess at this point, like 6 hour
At least
nerd out, she's not perfect, but yeah, it's you wouldn't expect that she'd been, although there is a little bit, like you have been sitting around for hours and going through it over and over again, so
and you can
maybe.
see very physically how she's training herself to do this, even when she doesn't have a particular gun or the parts in her hand. You can see her fingers like just repeating these movements, trying to get them to stick in her brain to make it natural.
You know what you might get, PG, is back at the academy, you ran into people like this a little bit, where essentially like the hunger for learning turns into this kind of like obsessive kind of just
I kind of
drive
know that
to-
pretty well.
Yeah. So like, essentially those people were always very good at even if they weren't talented, they were always very good at just doing something until it was burned into, like, seared into their brain.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you. She'll blush a little bit.
He glances over at like a watch or something, and I was like, "Oh, that's a decent time to be doing that." With practice, you could be faster than me. It's like clank my metal arm that I probably rely on to do shit fast.
Well, maybe you should practice too.
I pull down my my eye patch so it covers both eyes, and I completely strip and put the gun back together. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Give me a week.
Okay. Con legitimately is smiling now. Because someone's just
Possibly the
indulged
first
his
time.
absolute nerd out. And has then basically challenged him to a gun off.
It's like me when someone says, so what's 40k?
Well,
Have you
Grab a
got-
drink. I hope you've had a pee, because this is going to take a while.
you got
6
3
hours
days?
later.
Would he let her take one of the guns with her to practice, even without the ammo?
He'd give you KE, and because you did like really well, like I assume she's holding the gun properly.
Oh, yeah.
When she's
She's doing what you've told her to do.
He would absolutely give you ammo and then give you a notepad to sign off, because he is the quartermaster.
Katie's not enough to pierce the hull or even like the tempered.
Well, we haven't even got to.
I want to give her a
full-on
45.
firing.
I want to give her a 9mm, but she needs to have live ammo, because you need to be wary of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
But we haven't done like shot practice yet, right?
No, but
Just taking
we're not
apart
going to
and-
shoot
yeah.
practice.
No.
inside the
No.
fucking spaceship.
No, I was gonna say, I'm like,
Okay,
as I
On
said,
I'll run. You
Rig
try
that.
and hit me. Go.
it wouldn't penetrate, but it would ricochet definitely.
Yeah,
That would be work that we
super
don't need to
dangerous.
do.
Yeah. So with that, I take it we're going to essentially leave off with you going off with your gun and the ammunition. Colton probably packs away all his collection.
Slightly humming
Yeah.
some sort of military tune under his breath. Colton's in a good mood for the first time in like probably quite a few months.
Yeah. Question: would he have been in a good mood in a way during the mining facility thing?
Yes, yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good mood. That's the wrong way, but comfortable.
Yeah.
Definitely very comfortable.
Just wanted to make that note because I was like, I feel like he might be. Kareen. While you're on the bridge, in your pilot seat, this is like a few hours back because those nerds went on for ages. The captain walks in.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. The captain
not.
walks in, and he hasn't been in since since you guys took off from the planet. And he says, not sure what time it is. Morning, afternoon, Crane. You're not coming through, by the way.
Oh, weird.
You are now.
Is it better?
Yeah.
I am now. Sorry. Hey, how are you doing?
Got some sleep. Feeling refreshed and chipper and full of energy. How's the trip back going?
Fine.
No problems?
Mostly uneventful. Yeah, just, nothing weird on the sensors as far as I can tell. Yeah.
Okay. Well, brilliant. Nothing cropped up while I was resting.
No, the Nomi can talk to the AI. She actually got it to do stuff.
Oh, yeah, AI. Do I have any messages? And the AI, crops up and goes, yes, Captain, you have one message. Oh, see? Just have to, kind of address it directly and it'll, respond. I apparently have a message. I'm gonna go into the console room and see what that's about.
Sure, yeah, I'll just route it right there to you.
So yeah, and he walks in so it's got the main entry from the kind of lounge area. Attached onto the lounge is like a little kind of communication outside console thing. You can run a lot of stuff from the bridge, but the console is actually where people will go to shoot a message out or receive messages. Essentially, when you got yours, you just pulled it off from there to the pilot console. He's gone for probably about 20 minutes, and then comes back in kind of hesitantly. And he's kind of a little bit fidgety and a little bit kind of maybe downcast, possibly. And he says, Kareen, haven't really known you that long, but I have some bad news.
Bad news?
Yeah, I got a message from a friend who told me something about your aunt. She died, I'm afraid.
Oh, I got a message as well.
Oh,
Wait, but you got a message from someone that knows my aunt?
yeah, she actually asked me to, give you that interview, so you
Oh. Right. Yeah, it's really strange. I'll be honest, it seems suspicious. The person that sent me the message said they looked into it and didn't find anything, but I don't really have a lot of faith in their investigative aptitude.
yeah.
I'm just kind of, I don't know. She was a really cool person.
Bit of a battle axe, but
Yeah.
honest and straightforward, which was nice.
With the people she liked, at least.
Yes.
Yeah. Part of me wants to look into it, but I can't really
Yeah.
without, yeah, you know. So it sucks.
Well,
She takes like a big drink of coffee.
I can't say I have particularly good resources, but I could, when we get back to the station, I could send a message out, see if my friend can find out anything extra.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That'd be cool.
Coming from me, it would make sense, so.
Yeah. Thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No, yeah, no problem. And obviously, I'm, well, mostly me. I'm the only one who knows, you know, you're here and everything, so. Even
Yeah.
Romy, he didn't even ever meet Percy, so.
Yeah. Can't believe she's gone.
She did seem like she'd lived to 200.
Yeah. I hope her kid's okay. Anyway, I should probably get back to work. And she kind of just like looks for something to do on the console. Checks the sensors, drinks some more coffee. Just kind of.
Yeah, probably a good like 5 minutes pass. And he's still standing there.
She's getting more and more uncomfortable, but she like
She's
she
not
doesn't want to
She's
talk.
not looking back,
Yeah.
just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe go by now. And
I think if he's still there, like after a while, she'd probably finish her coffee and just be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some more coffee."
and he's just being kind of like when you look at him, he's just kind of staring vaguely ahead, not really looking at anything.
Yeah.
And as you go to get more coffee, when you get to the door, he says, "Which daughter?"
She only has the one.
Yeah. Did
Um.
did they find her?
Oh right. Never mind. Um. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
He kind of seems a bit stuck. So, if you
Yeah.
if you just want to slip out and be like, "Bye."
Yeah, I mean, she kind of just she's trying to avoid it, but she wants to talk about it, but she doesn't want to talk about it, so she just kind of like
Yeah.
runs off.
Okay. In that case, we will progress time again a little bit. Getting closer, actually probably just entering the edge of the inner system and passing along the what's it called when they go around the sun? Orbit. There we go. Thank you. Passing the orbit of New Ulfan, which is the furthest out. The captain, again, kind of goes a bit ghostly for a while. He's there and he's not there, and he turns up for dinner. He's quite quiet. Kareen, I think you probably recognize that as the conversation you had with him being a catalyst. But he doesn't try to talk to you. Or he doesn't try to talk to you again or anything like that. Like, he will say hello kind of in a vague way, and the same with the rest of you.
Yeah, Kareen's just kind of quietly going about her things. Does she notice like any change between Colton and Nomi, or do they just seem the same to her?
I would, I mean, they were always reasonably friendly from the off.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of, it's possible, like, it's possible Kareen noticed them doing some kind of gun training or something along that line. I don't know whether Kareen would be like, oh, I should load guns, or if
I think unless
like,
you walked into the room during,
Yeah.
the only hint of that, unless Colton brought it up, would be Nomi doing this weird fucking tiny Tai Chi.
Yeah.
She's doing the gun version of Tai Chi at the dinner table, like any possible moment. She's just using it to keep her hands busy.
Okay.
I don't think we'd specifically talk about gun training or anything.
So,
Yeah.
I would say the next thing that happens would be, Kareen, while you are piloting, kind of just like in your pilot seat and going on, you have a perimeter proximity alert. It's quite a large object, but at the same time you get hailed. This is a close range communication live. No video, just audio. And the signal is governmental, military actually.
Oh. I think I'd immediately call the captain.
Captain, we're being hailed by a government ship. There's also something very large on the sensors. It might be the ship. It's a little hard to tell.
Right. I'll be right down.
Thanks.
Just answer and, I'll be right there.
Okay.
I would just send them like our ship identification.
Yeah.
Standard response.
Their identification is the carriola. It doesn't mean much to you, but it's yeah. And do you open basically like open up the channel so communication?
Yeah.
To the captain of the ship, the Deep Waters. This is a standard check. Please slow down and prepare for a marine boarding party to board and ascertain the validity of your ship.
Captain, I would just kind of close.
No, like he walks in like a couple of seconds later.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they want a board. It's a
Okay.
government inspection, I guess.
It's been a while since they did those, but okay. Yeah, slow down. We'll let them on, and we don't have anything to hide, do we?
I don't know, but I definitely want to let Nomi and Astrid and Colton know.
You stay on in case they call back, and slow down so they can board. I'm going to go talk to Colton and everyone else, and make sure.
Okay. Sure.
So, Colton, where you at?
Yeah, I'd be in the. I probably spend a lot of time in the storage rooms because that's where I've like set up my punch bag, and
Yeah.
it's really close to my workshop and all that.
Do you mean the lockers or the cargo hold?
The cargo, because it's cargo hold, and then I assume the lockers are in the cargo hold now.
The lockers are kind of in a room, just on.
Adjacent.
Yeah, like connected
yeah.
to the cargo
Okay.
hold.
Yeah, around there.
So the captain walks in and says, Colton.
Yeah.
Being boarded by Marines.
What?
Do you have anything illegal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes. Good. Good. Does Nomi? I'll ask Nomi. Yeah.
Okay. Just running off.
It goes to the garden. Nomi, are you at the garden?
Mm-hmm.
Like pops his head in. Nomi, hello.
Hello.
Haven't really chatted properly for not important. Do you have anything illegal?
No. Do you need something?
No. Marines are coming on to check for something, maybe. So if you have illegal things, maybe don't
Why?
have illegal. They didn't say. I would assume it's to check if we have anything illegal for the purposes of the law. Okay, good. You don't have anything illegal, so nothing to worry about. They'll be here in a bit, so look legal.
She'll look herself up and down and just stare after him like, what does that mean?
Yeah, and he walks away. You hear his footsteps like clomp, 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 then stop, and then clomp, 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 clomp back. He sticks his head in and said, "Did you say what do I need?"
You sound... Never mind.
Okay.
Sounded like you were looking for something.
Are you able to get illegal things?
No, but Colton is good at trading, so...
Right. it's really not cogent to the current situation, but it's
No.
good to know. Thank you. And then he clomps off again.
Just
5 more
like
minutes.
stand frozen in our garden, like, what just happened? I don't understand. And go back to gardening.
Yeah, he's kind of filled with panicked captain energy right now.
Mhm.
Because he's suddenly like, God, I don't know my crewmates enough to know whether they have illegal stuff. Also, I was kind of relying on Colton to be one of the sensible ones. For the sake of Astrid and Romy, I can say right now, Romy has nothing illegal. I know Astrid does. So they will both be notified, and they will deal with it accordingly. For Romy, it's literally not caring, and for Astrid, it's desperately going to go and hide the illegal gun that she has. So.
Yeah, any dodgy guns I've got. I'm probably pulling everything out of my hidey hole. Like there's like a bunch of like bottles of liquor and stuff. And
so for the purposes of essentially you can take enough out of a couple of the more specialist guns to essentially have them deactivated. Or make them look like they're deactivated.
Corinne, please let me know before you turn on real thruster 4. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
I'm like, okay, that'll fit in there, and then okay, and wait, is this illegal? I'm like trying to figure out if it's illegal or not. Fuck it, I'll just put it in like where, you know that hidey hole that we were talking about that all engineers have?
Yeah.
There's a couple of smaller things there. Anything that's a bit big and he's not sure of, they're like inside ship parts, and that's why she can't turn on thruster 4.
Oh no, as a sidebar, Kareen, you know exactly what he's talking about, where it is, and why it's essentially, that's one of the places where people will stash stuff on this ship, and you can pretty much guess that it's, I have illegal things and I'm hiding them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kareen's really nervous, but she's actually not nervous because of anybody else. Because
Yeah.
she knows the ship and the kind of, like, she understands that they're gonna take care of their stuff. She's more worried about someone from the government knowing who she is, and like, she's very self-centered in this moment.
Yeah.
Why are they boarding us for? They don't do that anymore.
I know, it's strange, right?
Yeah.
It did happen a lot. They kind of phased it out about 8 years ago when the wars ended. Or like a little bit after the wars ended. There's still some tension.
Okay, aircon's down to about 85%. Don't turn it up. Okay, thanks.
Okay. And you get radioed by the captain, Colton. Says,
Colton, would you mind receiving them in the cargo hold with me?
And I just throw a load more things and think, yep, ready, Captain.
All right.
It's all fine here. There's just, some candies that, yeah.
it'll actually be the airlock, but airlock. Okay. So you head with him to the airlock.
Mhm.
And
I'm definitely armed.
Yeah.
Because someone's coming on our ship.
Yeah. And the captain has retrieved his pistol, and he has it too. And there's like incidentally, Kareen, at this point you can see the ship itself, and also there's like a shuttle essentially. It's a boarding shuttle. You've seen them before. They can also attach to like airlocks and stuff, and go the normal way, but it's got a very thin kind of point for the boarding thing itself. Essentially, one of the ways that the Star Marines board ships is they thrust directly at the ship and like pin cushion through the ship. and then like infiltrate it directly that way. So it's the whole thing. They're not doing that. Don't worry. Like I'd tell you if they were charging at your ship, ready to needle it.
Oh God.
But the ship you see is a I think, you know what? This may require a roll just because you may not be familiar with it, but you may be familiar with it. Please roll me a pilot with your education. So if you go to where it says dexterity with the drop down, you can switch it to education as opposed to dexterity.
Oh.
And just make sure that you've switched back and forth on the boon so it doesn't roll boon.
I think I did.
Damn. Okay, yeah. This is an older class Foxfire carrier. Essentially, the look of it is, it's a lot like bigger and a lot wider. It has the front that looks a little bit like the front of the Millennium Falcon with like the bit missing in the front. Essentially, the way it operates is that front area is like bristling with turrets and anti-air defense basically. So all of the ships, the fighter ships, come out the front of it and are covered by the turrets so that they can, like, you know, in a thing. It's Foxfire. They're military. They're naval. They were contracted all the way through the war, so it's a decent design, but it's a bit outdated.
Would it make me more or less wary?
There's no way a non-governmental outfit, maybe one of the corporations, but unlikely, would have a ship like this. So it's definitely official. The only, like, and considering like Kareed's currently in full paranoid mode, the only possibility is that it either belongs to the Initiative or the EAP, but you know, it's the outskirts of the inner system. That's unlikely.
Yeah. Where's the captain right now?
So just in the airlock's essentially to the side of the common room, just behind the bridge. So he's literally like through the door.
So I'd probably let him know what I know, just kind of come in and just tell him that, just so he's informed.
Okay, that's good to know. Pretty much what I expected, though.
Yeah.
All right. And you hear this kind of like shink of the shuttle attaching to the airlock. It says, "All right. Fingers crossed, and hopefully everything goes okay."
The fuck are they here?
I'm sure we'll find out.
I don't know.
And you hear the hiss of the airlock opening and closing and pressurizing, and then the other airlock open. The captain hits the airlock, and the airlock opens, and out walks two men. One of them wearing one of them with a lieutenant's insignia, and one of them with a sergeant's. And the oh no, that's the wrong place. There we go. The lieutenant looks at you, Colton, and says, "Are you the captain here?"
No. Captain.
Oh, captain.
Wait, was it the lieutenant? I'll actually say, no, lieutenant. Captain.
Okay. Trying to find the name of this guy.
Sheepy, this is going to sound like a dumb question, but which side were they on? Which side are they on?
From
Did you say?
from the diagram of the ship.
No, as in. So in the war, it was the EAP and.
The EAP, the initiative, and the inner.
Yeah. And who are these? These are the EAP.
These are inner government. Well, inner
Oh, inner.
military. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Yes. He looks at the captain and says, "I am Lieutenant Perret. We merely need a quick search of the vessel. Unfortunately, there's been increased pirate and unlawful activity from Annie and Benny. And we just have to, just a standard procedure." And he looks at you, Colton, for a second longer than you're more confident. Like there's some kind of recognition there. And then looks back at the captain and says, "It shouldn't take long. If you'd be willing to take my, if you'd be willing to take my sergeant along, just have a quick once over. We'll be out of your hair as soon as possible." And the captain says, of course, come with me, Sergeant." Goes off. Just for the record, Kareen, did you disappear once the door started,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
back into the cockpit, door closed, kind of vibe?
Yeah, with a giant thing of coffee. And she'd just be sitting there drinking it, kind of nervous.
Yeah. So Colton, you're left with the lieutenant.
Lieutenant.
What I'll say is the name sounds familiar.
What was his name? Lieutenant
Perret.
Perret. That does sound familiar. Why does that sound familiar? Why does that sound familiar, Sheepy? What have you done to me?
And he's I don't believe it's in your notes.
No, that's why I'm scouring them, and I don't know why that's familiar.
If you're scouring them, then keep on the 1 second. Stay on the broken planes, just because it means you won't have to search later.
Okay.
And he says, if you don't mind me asking, Captain, what happened to your eye?
Oh, lost it. Accident. Merchant Navy.
Okay. Sorry, you may not recognize me, sir. I served under you in the planes.
Oh, you remember me?
And he rips off a salute, kind of standard Navy, standard Marine, ground assault Marine, salute.
I feel like not accidentally, but you know that when someone salutes you and you've been in the military for so long, it's just kind of automatic. So it's probably not very crisp, but it's probably there.
He says, Sergeant Rafa Perret, back then, sir, 4th Platoon. I took over command after Lieutenant Forb was KIA.
Damn. 4th Platoon.
Yes, sir.
You say you guys were tenacious.
Had to be, sir. Kept getting ordered to attack.
Yeah.
The just for the viewers, the Battle of Broken Plains was a pretty rough operation, especially for the members of the 6th Battalion, which was where Colton and also this now lieutenant in the Star Marines, which, you know, you may... I'm imagining you may ask about that, so... it was a rough fight because the one of the commanders kept ordering charges regardless of like casualties and any risk assessment or anything like that. It's just like charge. It was a bloody battle. So that's just to give you a little context as to what they're talking about.
Yeah, that was one hell of a thing. Sorry. Kind of recognize the name, but hey.
I didn't serve directly under you.
No.
I was...
Most people did. They didn't after a while. Shame.
I was under Misfire. That's the nickname he had.
This is...
Lieutenant Colonel Misfire.
This is the... Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I actually, after we got off that rock, I discharged, did my time, and I tried to go civilian for a while.
How'd that work out for you, looking at his uniform?
Well, I decided to re-enlist. There weren't any jobs, not enough money, you know, family needs feeding. But there aren't any ground wars anymore, so hazard pay in the Star Marines is better.
You know, we tried to tell him to stop.
Yeah.
That place was a goddamn fucking meat grinder.
Yeah.
But hey, Lieutenant, it's pretty good.
Better than Sergeant. Not as good as Captain.
No, Captain.
You were.
Yep. But I'm not anymore.
Of course.
I clean the toilets.
Well, at least it's honest work. I couldn't even find that.
Yeah, they do say that it's kind of hard once you've been there, once you've seen it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just an honest janitor.
Well, it's nice to see someone from the old unit, although there aren't that many of us.
Yeah, was kind of hell, son.
Incidentally, like, you probably don't know this person precisely, being a sergeant, a bit lower down, not in your, he was in a different platoon under the lieutenant colonel, but, like, he looks a little old for how you would guess he would be. Essentially, he looks a bit more aged and weathered. It's possible for, and it's a safe guess actually, for a period of time, especially after the war's finished, a lot of soldiers missed out after they were kind of discharged and no longer in the army. They couldn't afford for the medical treatments for the age extension. Quite a lot of soldiers aged visibly for like 5 years or so, which actually caused quite a lot of them, after not being able to find work, to re-enlist in the military.
So you couldn't find your way. Went back to what you know. Star Marines, though.
Star Marines? We've actually, there's been a few, there's been increased, pirate activity out, around here anyway. So, these are a bit more work for us, you know, stopping, searching, even going out to search. We have found a couple of civilian ships that have been boarded and ransacked.
Sheepy, did the captain say that he'd sent off a report of that ship we found? Yeah, we found a bit of a hulk on our way down to... Where were we going? I've forgotten where we're coming from.
Talent.
Went to Talent. Completely empty. Breach seizes everywhere.
It's been happening a bit more recently. There's been a bit more traffic out to Annie especially.
Why Annie?
I think there's been increased efforts to set up some outposts on Stogan. It's organization Cornerstone wants to set up some research and colonist outposts out there, paying top money. So
So you think he's capitalizing?
Yeah.
Probably a bunch of civilian ships, very armed.
Not very well armed. We're trying to do what we can, but obviously we can't escort them all the way there, so...
Shame. There's always a bigger fish.
Well, anyway, and he radios in, and you hear him saying, Sergeant, you about done? And obviously you don't hear anything back, but someone's talking. He says, all right, well, get back here, and we'll get on our way. A couple of minutes pass, and the captain comes back with the sergeant. He salutes it's a different salute.
Oh, is it a Star Marine salute? They have a slightly different one.
Yeah.
20 minutes of saluting.
And the sergeant says, all good, sir. Very good, Sergeant. Head back on, and we'll head back to the ship. Aye, sir. And the captain looks at the lieutenant and says, well, I'm glad everything seems to be in order.
Good luck, Sergeant.
Thank you, Captain.
Just a janitor.
Yes, sir. It's one of those things which
I know.
I think Colton experiences as well, where it's really hard when that is drilled into you to get out of the habit. And the captain sees the lieutenant off, and they detach and head back. And Kareen, you're given the all clear to move off again. At this point, you're within the inner system. It's probably going to be a couple of days to Iolo and to the station.
They find anything?
No, was more of a once over. I think they may have been checking for people.
Yeah.
Wait, they never come into the cockpit?
No.
The sergeant served under me, kinda.
Lieutenant?
Did I say?
Sergeant.
Lieutenant.
He was a sergeant under you.
Right, but he's a lieutenant now.
He's a lieutenant now in the Star
Sorry,
Wars.
the lieutenant. He was a sergeant.
honestly, it's it's an appropriate mistake to make.
Yeah.
Um,
Only pirates. Remember that ship we found?
makes sense. Makes sense. Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe we
Do you
don't.
want to make some money?
Nearly always.
I'll tell him about the push out towards Annie
Hmm.
and basically what he told me and stuff.
Okay, yeah. It's funny because I was actually going to suggest we stick in the system for a bit until things are a bit less dangerous.
That's the problem when things are dangerous. They're very productive, prosperous.
Yeah, it's true. I just, given what we just experienced going to Annie, I thought maybe some slightly easier jobs, slightly less long distance. I don't know. If
I look kind of visibly disappointed, or not disappointed, disheartened when he says easier, because as far as Colton's been concerned, the last job has probably been the best job he's had for a while. That one job where he
Yeah.
got to be himself. Hey, it's your ship, Captain.
we'll see how it goes. If we're in need of money after repairs and everyone gets paid, I'd be open to taking a well-paying but slightly more risky job.
Like I said, your ship, Captain.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh shit, thruster 4. And I start sprinting away as I hear everything spooling up.
Yeah. You do get there in time.
I'm just pulling stuff out and quickly putting the sheet back on and like screwing it back in as it's like swelling up.
I said, wait!
I'm assuming I could compensate for, like, not, like, I could turn off that individual thruster and compensate for it because I'm a decent pilot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not using that one. You're fine.
She's not using that one? Definitely not using that one. I'm still panicking and getting it closed because we're moving. I don't know what she's a pilot. I don't know what she does.
Yeah.
Flies the ship.
You told me not to.
Okay. You hear like random swearing. I've left the thing on as I'm like trying to put in. It's really hot because there's a fucking power conduit for a thruster. It's like there's just expletives and obscenities coming through the entire ship.
Okay.
Kareen just has like a funny look on her face, like he told me not to.
Yeah. But you know, the inspection passes. You get the impression, by the way, Colton, that the lieutenant maybe radioed early and kind of was like, "Hey, get your ass a moving." You know, just kind of like a. It's not really like a, "Hey, we served together. I'm going to do you a favor."
Yeah, it was like, oh, this is obviously safe.
Yeah, it's like this. You know, my captain, my captain would allow illegal crap going on here. So
It's certainly not pirates, at least.
I'm not dealing in like kidnapping or you know anything along those lines.
Yeah, I think Colton assumed they were looking for smuggling or something until they mentioned the pirate stuff,
Yeah.
which we've seen as well, so he knows that's a thing.
Yeah. And you indeed reported, so it you know that was a good like month ago. A bit over a month ago. So it's very likely that they've gone out, found it, and kind of acted accordingly. So. But yeah, it's been a good 8 years since there were active like patrols and searches and It was all looked down a lot more because of possible insurgents and terrorists and, you know, enemy agents doing stuff. So. However, or anyway, couple more days go by. At this point, you are very much nearing the station. You know, maybe another day, and you'll be there and docked up. So there is one more thing that happens, which is quite late. So kind of around about the time I don't like. Okay, so Nomi, do you have a go to bed time? Is it kind of regimented? Or
I don't think it would be deliberately regimented, like she would follow a clock, but she would very much be timing how long the grow lights had to stay on for, turning those off, hanging out in the garden while it's a little bit dark for a while.
would she wake
And
up?
it sort of naturally
Yeah,
falls into a rhythm.
I was gonna say, would she wake up like kind of part way through the sleep and part way through the night to regulate the?
Yeah. Or rather, her wake up time is the time the grow lights need to go on.
Yeah.
So it'd be like 5:30, 6 a.m.
Okay. In that case, when you go in, this is about a day before docking. The captain is in the farm, just kind of like sitting down. When you go in the morning, everyone else is kind of still asleep, or the day hasn't quite yet started.
I think she'd watch silently for a second and then just reach up to flick the grow lights on so this whole room's bathed in purple light.
And when you switch it on, yeah, he's kind of been just staring a little bit, and he looks up and says, "Nomi,
Good morning.
good morning. I thought before we docked, it might be worth us having a quick conversation."
Very well. And where is he? Is he just sat on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay, she'll drop down, like not using her hands, just yoga pose down again. And sit cross-legged in front of him.
He kind of like opens his mouth and like tilts his head a couple of times as if he's trying to figure out the right way to approach or start. And then he says, I got the impression you disproved of what happened on Talent.
Yes.
I just thought we should talk about that.
Huh?
I didn't think we should bring him onto the ship, and I know you probably disagree with that. I just thought it was too dangerous to...
What good would bringing him on the ship do?
Oh, I thought you wanted to save him.
If he could be saved. But I fear in such a situation, that is hopeful thinking.
I agree. I don't think there was much left to save.
This is cruel. and she'll look up at him, and for a second you can see that hurt behind her eyes.
Sorry, I thought your concern was that we didn't bring him onto the ship and try and save him.
Why?
I guess I assumed.
People do that a lot.
So, the reason you weren't happy with what happened on Talent is because
I believe, having lived as that man had, he had suffered enough. But you are the captain. It is not my decision to make.
I appreciate the loyalty.
She looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah, so does he. Well, in that case, I'm hoping it's not as much of a problem anymore.
No, just sad.
And he puts his hand on his knee, kind of pushes himself up and says, "Well, if it helps, he's not suffering." I lied.
It helps. Thank you.
I thought you'd object to... Should we call it mercy killing?
The clue is in the name.
Okay.
You can stay here if you'd like. Corrine seems to find it quite peaceful.
Just for a little while. Then he sits back down.
Just out of habit, she'll go and grab a bottle of water and put it next to him without saying anything and just carry on silently bustling about with things in the garden.
Yeah. He does not help out at all. He's just sitting there. And we will end with the ship slowly going through a docking port as it lands on the Voltorm expanded station orbiting Iolo. Ready to report in, get paid, finally get fucking fixed. So, there we go.
Yay!
Oh, Lord. We won't do a massively long outro on this one. But open floor for anyone who wants to talk about things. I have one thing to mention first, which is Tess. Two shows in a row, you fucking kill us with a scene, goddamn. What's
That
going
was
on?
dope, dude.
You guys are amazing. I'm sorry, my one of my cats is meowing really loudly in the background, so I apologize in advance.
AI!
Man.
AI! Shut up,
That AI has some great comedic timing.
Rover.
So yeah,
Thank
like,
you.
the Korean. I was very hesitant to do another audio tape, but I was like,
It was so good.
It makes sense with the and
The distance, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
I
It's
I
super-
like the idea of the distance and the messages being sent. It's
I love you doing those recordings, like pre-recorded like that, because it's so immersive. Like that.
Yeah, it's strangely more immersive than him just
Yeah.
doing it live, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I don't know why, but there's just something in your head when you, I mean, maybe like we said this, I think before, maybe it's because we're all gamers.
Yeah.
We're used to hearing those recordings. I think you said that, Sheepy, right? Or Peachy. I'm sorry. Shit. I did it again.
It's all right.
Anyway.
common.
I think it actually was Sheepy that said that.
Oh, God. Either way. But yeah, it's just, it like instantly makes me think I'm actually listening to the real recording, so it made it super easy to like respond the way that Korean would, and it just it was cool.
I saw when he said that your aunt is dead, and I saw that hit you, and the
Yeah.
like your eyes legitimately went like, oh god.
Yeah.
I like the whole trying to deal with it and trying to explain it, and it's not right. You shouldn't have. That was great.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was really good. I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I needed to bring brevity to any scene I was in because that was pretty intense and cool.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
We had a massive misunderstanding between Nomi and the captain, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Me sitting here in that scene being like, he thinks that she's upset that they're not saving him, and Nomi's like, you should have put him out of his misery.
Mm. Yeah, that was fun to resolve.
I really loved the Nomi and Colton scene with the gun.
That
That was the
great.
best thing ever.
That was adorable.
It was so cute.
I think Colton. That's the most fun he's had in so long. I definitely think they're actually friends now, not just
Yeah.
like
Aw.
workmates who get along. I think they're actually friends now.
This one wants to learn things from me. Have a word as original young lady and put that gun back together.
Well,
I want to know how many times we've got to do that before my mechanic skill improves.
Specifically for guns.
I think we can probably create a sub bit, which is
That would be amazing.
so feel free to create a subcategory of guns.
Bongella, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I'm sorry.
So
So, private message.
we also had a little bit of military with a former something.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because this character is very easy to move back and forth between those different emotions because he's almost always grumpy. It's just what flavor that grumpy is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was really like because it was like I was kind of brevity today, and then you hit me with an important part in Colton's history. I mean, they're all important. That's why they're on the character sheet, right? But
Not
yeah,
the worst.
not the worst, but still something that cements
It was a rough
to
one.
me at least who Colton was, what kind of military man he was.
I'm sure people will find out more about that battle and some of the other ones as time goes on.
There was quite a few. What did he get up to?
That was the Battle of the Broken Plains.
Because he kept getting promoted.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Colonel. Like I knew him as a captain.
Yeah.
So
he
that
was
was
captain
a
around
fair
that time.
Yeah. Didn't correct him though.
Yep. No, he's clearly he didn't follow your career all the way. But
Which why would he? Like obviously it's a bit of a parallel, isn't it? Because like ex-vets, they don't get treated the best, and he's had to go back into service, and as you said, like he can't afford the treatment, so he goes back into the military and serves again.
I didn't go into it, but it's one of those things that essentially is supposed to get covered by insurance on the military, and very often isn't. It's just a lot of former, like if you were to go to a ship and see all the Star Marines, half of them will be ground assault because there's no ground assault at the moment, and there's not much recruitment for it. Whereas there are still pirates and problems in space, so Star Marines still needed. Just one of the stupid things that Sheepy figured out in his brain as he was making this stuff.
No, it makes sense. Your world
It
is
makes sense. It's just
very fleshed out. Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, what the fuck is Nomi's deal here? Why can she mimic things so well? Why is she that
Ask
dexterous?
her.
She's a fucking bot. I can't. Colton can't ask her. Or maybe he can, because they did bond a little. I felt bonded a little.
Yeah, and you know, she's clearly was a dancer at some point, so probably just that, like learning routines and that kind of thing.
I could tell by the small of your back. You're a dancer, aren't you?
Oh God, too many jokes.
Yeah,
Many jokes.
too many.
Have you not had enough in this Zoom chat?
You should see the absolute
Every
state
fucking
of our
reply
chat.
I've got to her is, for fuck's sake, Millie.
I need to figure out how to not have the pop up.
I'm sorry.
No, it's funny because it tests me in a kind of like, it'll pop up and say something ridiculous on the.
Squeeze, don't yank.
Yeah, squeeze.
Oh,
don't yank.
Sheepy, just open the chat window. And cover it with
changes
something.
It changes the.
You can pop it out then.
Yeah, you can pop it out. Like if you pop it out.
It doesn't change it. Okay.
You?
There you go.
But yeah, I think the only other thing of note was the Korean captain conversation.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was weird. I'm not really. It was just weird. I mean, she's getting some weird vibes from him. Like he's stressed about something.
Yeah.
And she can kind of tell, but she's also stressed about her own stuff that she's trying to avoid dealing with. So she's just
And
kind of
also,
like.
her and the captain have never really like gelled yet. There's still a kind of awkwardness there.
Yeah. So she. Weirdly enough, she felt really comfortable with Nomi because she knew Nomi wouldn't like press.
That was adorable. I love that scene.
Yeah.
It was cool. You gave her like a safe space, so she went to her safe space.
It was very weird, actually. It was like going back to a really fucked up version of my psychology training. Like the part of me that in an alternate universe is like a therapist to serial killers was just like, just give her lots of space and let her talk. Lots of whys and silence.
Give her reasonably blunt scissors and have her do arts and crafts.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the therapy's not free.
Yeah.
Give me carbon dioxide and manual labor. It's a fair exchange.
It seems that way.
But yeah, it was adorable. She came back in a moment of stress. I think that was a really nice little character detail. Blah.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts from the other two of you about that message she got?
I was trying not to listen to it too much. I was like, oh, here's important sort of story beats, but I didn't hear it and I didn't want to hear too much about it.
Fair enough.
But there were some things I picked up and I'm like, what's going on there?
Not too much revealed, but
and the just the way Corrine was, this isn't right. Like, is that a grief thing? Is she paranoid because no, people shouldn't die because it's hard to accept when people die, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was really. I think you played it really well,
Yeah,
Tess,
it was
and I'm
straight
super
down the
impressed.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried for you. I was like, oh my god, no, it's too real.
Play the game. It's Tess.
Yep.
Thank you. You guys are. It means a lot, seriously, because you guys are all amazing. So I really appreciate.
Well, that much is obvious.
I just took Nomi into the back room and showed him my big guns.
For hours.
For 6 hours.
I've got RSI in my hands.
This one's my pump action.
And none of them ever went off. I don't know how to feel about that.
Accidental discharge.
No.
This is
I'm not sure whether to be happy or insulted.
This isn't a hot shots.
I'm not 19 anymore, Nomi.
We've been here for 6 hours.
Just don't fucking stop.
Okay.
No pressure.
God damn it.
No pressure, but are you sure this is loaded?
I'm glad there weren't
Military issue.
I'm glad there weren't any like put lead in your gun or anything like that.
Firing blanks.
So, I think to those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We will have Safi back next week.
Yay!
We have some interesting things coming up.
It always makes me so nervous when you say things like that.
I want to hunt pirates.
We'll see where things go. Not even 100% sure myself. It really does depend on a few conversations and stuff. But yes, we'll be back next week, and we'll be back on course. Apologies for the little delay. Literally, I was hating it. The only day I was okay with it was when I was sleep deprived on Monday. The rest of I was like, I want to do drifting. Let's just do a pickup show randomly in the week. Let's go. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. To be honest, never hit the bell. Just like and comment. Subscribe. Don't ever hit the fucking bell.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? It's a big, big world out there. Plenty possibilities. All of them is killing me soft. I want the real me figured out right here, right now. Is this lifestyle the right style for me? Only with time will I see. But by then it'll be too late. Looking in the mirror at a stranger's face. If I wasn't right, would you tell me straight? Or would you let me? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? I want something great instead of all dismay, but I can't find my way. I fall on my face, I flatline my faith. I want all escape, let's throw it all away. Just like the thoughts I trade for a couple of bucks in this big bucket of love. I'm steady throwing my up, hoping for that 1 in 100. But fuck stressing the numbers. Pop this deck in your summer and see the inner of my head declog like a plunge. Y'all be akin to my feces, your best bet be the Bee Gees. The way you think living's staying alive. I got my head and my smile, but don't know where I'll fly. I'm just spreading my wings, I'm fine with taking my time. I used to rush it all out, I'm trying to slow it all down. Take my feet and lose ground, give them somewhere to hang. I always want it right now, trying to slow it all down. Take my mind and lose ground, watch it floating away, yeah. Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream?